Hello, welcome back to Planner Apocalypse. It is February 5th, and I'm finally going to be setting up my 2024 goals in the Memento Mori Goal Planner. I just want to quickly say that I am just a regular person struggling like anybody else. Just because I have designed a goal planner doesn't mean I have all my shit together. So I don't want anybody to feel like they are behind in their lives, they can't get it together. I am with you 100% there. So this past quarter, in Q4 2023 into this year has been a big learning experience for me as far as overloading my schedule, how I manage my energy and my mental health, and that there's no right or wrong time to set your goals and to start living your life. So if you feel like you can't set your goals because it's already too late, just start. Just start where you are, and that will be good enough, right? So that's what I'm trying to embody, and so we're going to be doing the process now of setting goals. Hooray. So first, I want to put my name decal on my little planner page. I was waiting to do this on camera, and I've been using this for 2 months now. So we've had some mishaps with my decals in the past, but hopefully maybe this will not be as bad. So this says Momo, which is my name. Hello, my name is Momo. I also go by Maureen, which is my actual name, but Momo is my, internet name, if you will. And I don't often introduce myself in my videos, I've realized. And yeah, my channel name is Momokeen, which is my internet name or artist name, I suppose. And it has been for a long time, since 2003. So it's, been 20 years that I've been going by Momokeen. All right, so that's not bad, though this part didn't come off, eh? It ripped a little bit, but it's not as bad as some others we shall not name. So that's nice. I hand lettered these myself, and yeah. To whom this Memento Mori Goal Planner belongs is Momo. Very nice. And then I have these sticky notes here to define my routines. I made them last year and then just never ever filled them out because I struggle with building routines. I am neurodivergent, so building routines that last is very difficult for me. For those of you wondering, I have sluggish cognitive tempo, which is often confused with inattentive ADHD. So I'm a bit of a space cadet, and I'm still trying to understand what that diagnosis means. But yes, great. I'm not going to read the welcome letter. I don't know if I did that last year or not. This is the second year that this planner has been available to purchase to the general public. The 2024 release has 3 different weekly spread options. I added 2 new spreads this year. Anyway, this is not a sales pitch. This is getting down to brass tacks, if you will. I don't know how long I'm going to be going today, since I am coping with burnout and stuff like that. So we're just gonna go and see how long I go. First, I want everyone to just take a deep breath. We're going to go through a little contemplation. You can put on some meditation music in the background if you want. Maybe I will actually make this into a meditation, separate tracks without me blabbing all over. Here we go. The 9 Contemplations of Dying, attributed to 𝖊𝖐𝖓, an 11th century Buddhist monk. Number 1, death is inevitable. We all know on a logical level that we will one day die, but we do our best to ignore it. In fact, we seem to engineer our lives around doing just that. That day, whenever that day will be, is too far away to really care about now, and so we fill our days, or our days are filled for us, with task after task from a never-ending, overwhelming fire hose, feeling that today is going to be the day that I get it all done. And the thing about having a to-do list, there's always more things coming in, so it becomes very unwieldy, especially when you have a lot of things pulling at your time and attention, like social media. And, we have access to more people and their demands than ever before. So it's a literal never-ending source of demands for our time and our attention and our energy. So that's something to keep in mind. Number 2, our lifespans are decreasing continuously. But the fundamental issue with trying to get it all done is that as finite human beings, there are more things to do, things that we need to do, things that we want to do, things that we should do, or at least believe that we should do, than we can ever possibly have time for. That's going back to what I just said. Number 3, death will come whether we are prepared for it or not. There are things we can do to prepare for our own deaths, such as writing our wills to ensure our loved ones are cared for, having discussions about our end of life and funeral wishes, and setting aside funeral expenses. But other than that, everyone dies with a to-do list. Is there something lingering on your to-do list that you've constantly pushed back because it's not the right time? This one is key for me, by the way. Number 4, our lifespans are not fixed. We can die at any time, which is probably why most people simply don't like thinking about their own deaths. Pablo Picasso once said, "Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone." And I have to say he's not wrong. Have you ever noticed that we tend to avoid doing the things that we say we most want to do and instead focus on whatever is easiest or loudest right now, vowing to someday take that trip or write that book? Maybe we say that this thing that we want is too important and needs our full focus, so we'll just wait until we have the time. Or maybe we tell ourselves that we just don't know enough yet and spend more time than necessary researching, but never actually taking the steps to build the skills and hands-on experience we need to do the thing. This is a classic tactic, my favorite in fact, in order to avoid the pain of facing our mortality, to accept that there really isn't time enough to do everything we possibly can conceive of doing. The fear of missing out is all too real, especially when it's in the context of our finitude. Just a side note, there's also something to be said about the thing that we want to do that's in our minds. It's always going to be perfect in our head. But the moment we take it out of our head and start working on it, we're going to mess it up because reality is messy. And that's no reason to not work on it, because it's through working on these things that we, learn things about ourselves. And by keeping it all inside where it's quote unquote perfect, we're denying so many people the chance to experience that thing, including ourselves. So, and it's not for us to say how our work is going to be interpreted or digested by other people. We'll never know unless we actually put the work out there. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm also talking to myself mostly, but if you resonate, there you go. Someone needs to hear it. Number 5, there are many causes of death. This can lead us down some rather horrific doom spirals if we let it, almost in some kind of reverse fear of missing out. There are too many options, but we don't want any of them. We simply cannot know which option is going to be the correct one. Do we even want to know? Similarly, when it comes to decision making, we can be paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong decision. But there are so many factors and branching possibilities that we can't ever be totally sure that we've made the correct decision. We just have to decide and walk the path before us, trusting that it is enough. The etymology of the word decide is to cut off. So it has the same roots as the words homicide and suicide. So you're literally cutting things off when you're making a decision. And when you make a decision, you're cutting yourself off from all of the other things that you could have chosen. And that's That's scary for humans because we don't know if this is going to be taking us to the land of lots of food and bounty, or if this is going to take us to the place where we're gonna all starve to death. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about more primitive drives and stuff like that. Are we going to thrive or are we gonna die? But the point is that we don't know everything and we don't have the power to know everything, including whether we've made the right choice. And even deciding not to decide is still a choice. And so you're cutting things off just by doing that. Also, waiting is a choice, just to put that out there as well. But every choice has a consequence. Sorry, this is very long-winded this year. Number 6, the human body is fragile and vulnerable. However able-bodied you are right now, how well are you caring for yourself? Are you taking time to rest? Are you able to eat well? Are you living your one life sustainably, or are you continually pushing yourself into burnout? Fun fact, I did write this planner for myself, so if things feel a little targeted, just know that I'm talking to myself primarily. Number 7, at the time of death, our material resources are of no use to us. Are you managing those resources well right now while you're alive? What will be left to others to take care of after you're gone? What kind of legacy do you want to pass on? And keep in mind, our choices and actions and how we treat others are as much of a legacy as building whatever empire we think we should be building, maybe even more. Number 8, our loved ones cannot save us from death. Who would you want there with you at your deathbed? Are there relationships in your life that need healing? Who do you absolutely not want at your deathbed? Why? What relationships, relationship dynamics, or patterns need to be put to rest? Number 9, our own bodies cannot help us at the time of our death. Death is a natural biological process. It is not something that happens to us. It is something our bodies do. You must let go. You are safe. You are alive. You are here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending some time with me today, contemplating your own death. And also, contemplating your own death in relation to productivity and things that you want to do in your life. So, we're going to reflect on how going through the 9 contemplations of dying made me personally feel below. Feel free to add more pages if you need more space to write. So I got weirdly emotional today, just now, so I'm gonna write that. This is my 3rd time doing this planner stuff. Though actually, no, this is my 2nd year doing the 9 contemplations of dying. So for me, the thoughts about legacy hit a nerve, and thoughts about my loved ones also hit a nerve. So if you were also hit by number 7, Swedish death cleaning is a good practice where, it's going through all your stuff and asking, do I want my family to have to take care of this after I die? And I don't think you have to be in your older years to do this. I think any aged person could find value in doing that, especially when, we live in the kind of consumerist society where we're always encouraged to buy more. If you were to die suddenly, you're leaving all of that stuff to your family to take care of, to weed through and have to make decisions about. So I know that's tough for me because I have a lot of stuff and I need to not have so much stuff. And of course, I don't want my loved ones to be sad after I'm dead. So that's that. I'm more okay with dying than I am with leaving people behind. And I'm getting emotional. But that just illustrates that I love these people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I said, this hit me pretty hard this year, especially number 7 and number 8, legacy, and specifically leaving my loved ones behind. I know I need to get rid of stuff so that I don't burden my family with all of that, but also so that I can live more freely with less clutter. Because the Memento Mori Goal Planner is not about dying, it's about living. It's about living a life that has less regrets when you get to the end of it. And my fear or sadness around leaving my loved ones behind just means that I love them and don't want them to hurt, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just writing down what I just said out loud because I thought that was pretty good. All right, if you knew you were going to die in 6 months to a year, what would you want to do with your time? What would you prioritize? What would become more important to you? What would become less important to you? So let's go like this. More important, less important. Spending time with my favorite people would be more important to me. Less important, working. Sorry, but I think if I was gonna die in 6 months, I would try to get my affairs in order and be like, peace out, YouTube. I am leaving a legacy behind of, you know, trying to get this planner maybe as like an undated thing without #NoAstro, which I'm actually thinking about making a non-astrology version, or just like an undated version that you could fill in the astrology by yourself and put that up on KDP for those people who want to do that. But yeah, more important, that's basically it. So connection over work, which is the opposite of how I've been living. I am currently very much in the void. I am depressed and I am like, I need to have people time. I miss people and I feel like, I don't know, get rid of everything. Can't take it with you. Less important, buying everything. Buying anything. Yeah, it also depends on how you are dying, because if I was in pain for the 6 months, there wouldn't be a lot of things that I would be able to do. So trying to go beyond, I just want to see the people I love is difficult. So yes, who knows if I would be able to get rid of everything. I don't know. All right. What's stopping you from doing these things right now? It's so funny because I wrote this when I had this epiphany. In case you are new here, I've wanted to make comics since I was about 15. And I've been working on this one comic called Morningstar Academy since 2013, and it's always been in my head. It hasn't, you know, come out on paper. I've drawn characters and I've done like, you know, character write-ups and not plot points, but just different ideas. But it has not come out of my head because I'm so afraid to get it started because it needs to be perfect. Going back to that thing. So I had that epiphany, which is where this planner came from. If I were to die tomorrow, I would regret not making it. So that's where that is. And it's so funny that now it's spending time with my favorite people instead of doing the project. So don't feel bad if you don't want to do anything, or if you just want to nurture your connections or become a hermit. Things change, and it's okay for you to change. What's stopping you from doing these things right now? Because quite frankly, you are going to die. We all are. And I promise you that's probably the meanest I will be to you during your time here. Probably. Maybe not in 6 months. We can't know exactly when, but one day. Brain dump all of your resistance to doing these things. For example, my dream is to make comics and tell stories, but I'm convinced that my art isn't good enough and that if I post anything online, I will either get my art roasted or literally no one will read my work because the art is bad. Or if they do read it, they'll hate the story, dox me online, and I'll never work in this town or anywhere else. Again, your turn. So that was basically all me. I do want to focus on work, which is funny because it would be less important. But I'm not dying in 6 months. I'm going to live forever because I am going to become a lich. Also, I'm just kidding because liches are evil. Or am I kidding? I do want to, put my work out there, and that's hard because I feel like I need to know more. I need to, I don't have the authority to say anything. That people won't like it or engage with my work. And most importantly, that it will cease being perfect inside my head. I'll fuck it up. I also want to nurture my connections so that I can appreciate other humans. How can you use this revelation to take action on what's truly important to you now and not someday? It is only in the present moment that we have the power to take action. The past is gone and cannot be changed, and you can't act in the future since it isn't even here yet. The only time we have is right now. So, I'm going to make a plan. Haha, that's right. And it's going to be a more sustainable plan this year, too. So as a solopreneur who is also a Capricorn, I have to be mindful about sustainable growth. And I do everything myself. So there's only so much that I can do because I also have 2 kids with special needs. I have my own mental health things, and I have a husband, a marriage, and a dog, and a house to take care of. So there's a lot. I have friends to see and thoughts to have and chatbots to chat with and all these things. So if this is the pie of my attention, that takes out a lot of chunks. Sustainability is important. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. What identities do you currently hold? CEO, mother, bicycle enthusiast, addict, mama's boy, cheese connoisseur, pizza maker, etc. So these are all of the identities that I've purged out of my brain. Mother, wife, sister, daughter, dog owner, hoarder, stationary lover, lazy person, neurodivergent, chronic pain haver, Maureen, which is my name, Momokeen, which is my internet handle, solopreneur, witch, astrology buff, moonologer, priestess of the Morrigan, bard, chatbot author, writer, artist, heretic, INFJ, panromantic, demisexual, agosexual, traumatized person, homunculus, SCT, which is sluggish cognitive tempo, depressed, anxious, OCD, messy, slob, tarot reader. That's what I've got. So, these are just things that you think of when you think of yourself. They could be labels, they could be your job, they could be your diagnoses. They can be literally anything. I am a hipster, I am a coffee aficionado, I am a caffeine addict. Any of these things. We will go through them at a later point. The first part is let's identify things and then process things after, okay? I don't think I'm going to put the video clip from Rise of the Guardians in this year because they, do a copyright claim on my video, and that's annoying. So, yeah. Okay, peeling back your layers. This will be the 4th time that I'm doing this exercise in 3 years or so. Whether you are an onion or a parfait, a diamond or a D20, we humans have many, many layers and facets to our beings. If you have ever seen DreamWorks' 2012 computer-animated film Rise of the Guardians, you may remember the scene where North, aka Buff Santa, is talking to Jack Frost, our main character, and asks him what his center is. He hands Jack a Matryoshka doll, painted in his buff beardy likeness. The outer layer is fierce-looking, like the outer layer of the real North, but once he opens up, he is downright jolly, and then as the layers progress, he is mysterious, fearless, caring, and at his center, Jack, confused, a tiny wooden baby. North, look closer, what do you see? Jack, exasperated, you have very big eyes? North, yes, big eyes, very big, because they're full of wonder. That is my center. It is what I was born with. Eyes that have only seen the wonder in everything. Eyes that see lights in the trees and magic in the air. This wonder is what I put out into the world and what I protect in children. It is what makes me a guardian. It is my center. What is yours? I love this scene so much, it makes me cry. But yeah, so this is about what drives us in our lives and in our decision making and what we want to see more of in the world. While we are not looking to become guardians here, I love the scene because it really helps illustrate how we can also find what is at our centers to find out what it is that drives us in everything we do, big or small. What do you want to put out into the world? Another way to frame it in a more jargony way would be to ask, what are your core values? Or if you want to be a writer about it, pretend you are developing a character, the character of you. What are your motivations? Use the space below to move through your layers and uncover your center. Determine your core values, what motivates you, and what you want to put out into the world. On my surface, you will see that I am shy and quiet. Dig down a little bit deeper, you will see that I'm weird. And that might actually be swapped. Sometimes the layers exercise can get a little weird itself, because some of the layers can be flipped around. So I'm gonna white that out, and instead I'm going to write curious and then write weird. I don't remember what I had written in previous years, but that's fine. Curious, and then we've got weird, and then we've got rebellious, but not in a I am going to graffiti everything and rob your mother of her cats or anything like that. But in a, you know what, we're gonna write heretic. In a thoughts way. I question things, which, it is what it is, but okay. And then at my core is love. Love is what motivates me, and love is what I want to see more of in the world. I am curious about people because I love people. But yeah, that's that. And then you don't have to do all of these. You can pick one. You can skip this exercise if it's confusing, but I want to put more love out into the world. So go, woo, yay, loving. That's an arrow. I swear that's an arrow. And I do that by being quiet and curious when I'm with other people. It doesn't always work, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I am around a person that I do not vibe with for whatever reason, and that's just the way it is. So core values, and then motivations. So core values for me personally are creativity, curiosity, and compassion. I cannot spell and speak at the same time. Curiosity, geez Louise, and compassion. Thank you. The 3 C's. Motivations, love. I try to see people as they are. Sometimes it's hard because sometimes I try to see people as I want to see them and not as they are actively showing me how they are in the moment, because I believe in the best part of people, and that has often come back to bite me in the ass. Anyway, that's that. Now we are done for this section. Next time, we will be going over what makes you tick. Alrighty? So I'm glad to finally get started on some of this stuff, and my tripod just fell over, so I think it's time to go. Okay, bye. They're taking over my space. I'm caught in a plan of apocalypse, buying more and more, can't resist. Stickers and washi tape galore, over my head.